You know, most of the guys in this industry that do video reports, well, actually, most of the guys that do video reports in this industry, most of their reports actually suck, if you have to be totally honest. I mean, most of them get on here, all they talk about is this winner and that winner, and they're pitching you, pitching you, pitching you. That's all they're doing. They're trying to sell you something every single minute. Forget about the free picks. Forget about the in-depth analysis. They just don't put anything into it. My God, they can't deviate from the script. It's like, buy me, buy me, buy me. You don't find that here. You know, we have to talk about Jersey Shore every Friday. We've talked extensively about Friday Night Lights this year. We've touched on one of my favorite subjects, Minka Kelly, more times than I can possibly care to mention, although I will mention her again. But today we're going to talk about losing, and that's something I'm really getting very, very familiar with, guys. Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here, and this is going to be your Sunday video report. I'll tell you, January was a hell of a good month. February, ugh. I mean, since I won with Notre Dame a couple of nights ago, I think that was on Wednesday night, I lost on Thursday, I lost on Friday, and of course I lost yesterday. Instead of sticking in one of my favorite conferences like the Horizon League or over in the Missouri Valley Conference, I decided to dip my toes into the Colonial Conference, which is still a pretty good conference for me. It wasn't yesterday. Virginia Commonwealth, 2.5-point favorite. They were never in that game against Old Dominion. 15-dime loser and a 5-dime loser as well in Clemson in a nip-and-tuck game with North Carolina. And then here's the problem. Here, of course, on the video reports, what did I give you? Wichita State, winner. Vanderbilt, winner. San Diego State, winner. Lone loser, Texas, and hey, Longhorns blew a big lead, otherwise they would have covered in that game. So the free picks here on the video reports are now on a 28-14-1 roll, and that's over like a 5-week period in basketball and football combined. Now, some guys will stand here and tell you that they're keying the wrong game. Ugh, please, it's such total and utter bullshit. To be quite honest with you, you know, I've kind of changed my opinion. Well, let me put it this way. There's two schools of thought when looking at how well somebody does with their free picks. I know for a fact, after 25 years in this business, a lot of customers will come and buy a handicapper's plays, the premium plays, based on the performance of the free picks. Well, you know, I've said many, many times that the free picks are kind of like the best of the worst. So the games that almost were good enough to bet on, almost good enough to release to customers, but instead I used them as free picks. So here's the dilemma. Here I am on a 28-14 run with these plays I'm giving you with detailed, in-depth analysis, and I can't win a real pick for my life this month of February so far. Yet on the other hand, the flip side of the coin would be, by winning these free picks, it clearly shows you I have an opinion. I've always had an opinion. I'm just in a bad slump right now. I've said it many, many times and it bears repeating again. There's two things I know in this business. There are no guarantees in gambling, and the fact is nobody wins all the time. Anybody in this business that claims to win day in, day out, week in, week out is a liar, a cheat, and a fraud. That's how it's always going to be, because the real fact of the matter is, as a handicapper, as a bettor, you go in the same winning streaks and losing streaks that the teams and the players that you are handicapping on a daily basis are subjected to as well. Nobody wins all the time. You have to look for guys that can win on a consistent basis. You have to look for guys that can certainly go on winning streaks. And you know, guys, total, what do I call it? Total disclosure here. You know, Football this year, I had won 8 straight seasons, 8 straight years, college and pro combined. I had a losing football season. Now, I can't really cry about winning 8 out of 9 football seasons. I certainly can cry because that money from 8 years ago I don't have right now, and the customers from 8 years ago weren't playing with me most likely this past football season. Last year, baseball. You know, I won 9 out of the previous 12 baseball seasons. Had a losing baseball season. I mean, I won a fortune in April, May, and June. Middle of July, the roof fell out. I felt like the Metrodome and just couldn't win again. So, you know, you have winning seasons, you have losing seasons. The one thing I'm not going to do is come out with a 200-dime play tomorrow to get the losses back. I'm not going to chase. You know, I got into this losing streak with some consistent losing, and I'll get my ass out of it with consistent winning, because the one thing I can tell you, I'm 100% confident, I always bounce back. I always have. I mean, I don't know what other things to tell you than that. And I'm not selling you anything either today. Just wanted to talk about the business, about losing. Because frankly, guys, listen, I got to do these video reports 365 days a year. A, because I'm general manager of the company, and B, because I like to do these video reports. If we don't have fun and we don't have an open discourse, I'd go nuts just telling you, play so-and-so, play so-and-so, buy me, buy me, buy me, absolutely free, absolutely free. Oh, don't you love those absolutely free ones from the guys that are based out of New York and they spit in your face? They have so much spit in their mouth. Absolutely free. Anyway, let's get to your free picks, and I've got 3 of them today. Let's go to the NBA. Lakers and the Orlando Magic. Lakers, what a heck of a nice start to this 7-game road trip. 4-0 already, as they've certainly gotten the job done. 6-point win at New Orleans, 9-point win in Memphis against, remember, a red-hot Grizzlies team at the time. 6-point win at Boston, and then they had no letdown, beating up the New York Knicks a couple nights ago by 17. Now, they're getting a point to point and a half at Orlando here today. Kobe has averaged 34 points a game in his last 7 trips to Orlando. The Lakers, here's the big differential in this game. The Lakers are 19-10 this year against winning teams. The Orlando Magic not doing too well against winning teams. 11-16 this year against teams that are over 500, including 8 straight losses. Turkoglu, Arenas, Nelson, and Richardson are shooting a combined 39% from the field their last 18 games. Step-up games of late for the Magic. They lost by 11 to Boston, 4 to Miami at home, 9 to Chicago. I think the Lakers win this, although I'm a little concerned because Brandon Bass comes back, the starting power forward and one of their better defensive players today from the injured list. That means Ryan Anderson, who's been such a boon for this team, goes back to the bench in the 6-man. We're also a little worried about the Magic, how they're going to perform today. But bottom line, the Lakers are really playing well right now, so I'll back LA in this one. College basketball, Xavier and Duquesne going at 2 o'clock Eastern time. First place on the line in the Atlantic 10 Conference for the winner of this one, as they're both 8-1 in A10 play. Now, Xavier is coming off a 65-57 win at Georgia. Strange to have a non-conference game this late in the season, but it's not a bracket buster game. You have them next week. That was as a 4.5-point road dog in Athens. They've won 9 of their last 11 games. Duquesne had their 11-game winning streak snapped with a 64-62 loss at St. Bonaventure 8 days ago. This one being played at the Consol Energy Center. That's where the Penguins play. 3rd game that Duquesne has played there this season. I like Xavier plus the 5 points in this one. I thought Duquesne was the way to go, but I think this is going to be a 2 or 3 point game one way or another. Duquesne is a good shooting team that likes to run the floor, pressure you defensively, but they're a short team, not much size. Xavier's going to hit them hard on the rack, and Duquesne doesn't really have much depth either. So I think go ahead and take a very fundamentally sound Xavier team plus the points. Your final play is going to be Virginia Tech, and this game goes at 1 o'clock Eastern time, minus the 10.5 points at home against Georgia Tech. Big revenge game for the Hokies from a couple of angles. First of all, they're coming off a loss last Saturday at Boston College, 58-56. Now, hey, they've lost 9 of their last 10 on the road in that series. But prior to that loss, they had won 11 out of 13 games, the only 2 losses on the road, by 3 points at North Carolina, nothing to be ashamed of, and by 15 in Atlanta against Tech back on January 25th. But in that game, Brian Oliver, Tech's 3rd leading scorer, exploded for 28 points. He's averaging 11 on the season. He's out with a broken thumb. I think I'm going to go with Virginia Tech here and lay the points, because the bottom line is Georgia Tech on the road has lost 4 straight games. They've also been struggling overall. 9-point home losses to Florida State and Clemson, 2-point loss at Miami, 11-point home loss to Maryland. One of the worst shooting teams, if not the worst in the ACC, 29% from 3-point land, 41% from the field. 1-5 their last 6 overall, so I'll lay the points with Virginia Tech going along with Xavier and Lakers, and I'll catch you again on Monday.